So far, any was 13. Because of the time. Hello.
Hello, yeah, radio.
Oh, okay. Any was on for a billion yamia say and never kind of home free no pa na we so wasan dia be shemu bio. So far no I think say any was on any all that bad. No amount for urban I think say time to be share kwan was so kwan for su. Oh good. And I kwame answer be share be say bon pay na yede share.
Okay. And you know me mom pay. Oh, Yankopon ya bankase. Awie ye da wase. Da wase se ohome da fefefe. Ano pawo na makwa so ahira ye wo. Fam. Already. Obo ayama ya te won sem bebre ase ne. Na home da nso na wo ye onema wo sa yare ye wo sa oma ayare. Nti bre mu ye ba besua wo nsem. Wo na makwa so e be cheche nkwan a betima nante wo sa na nsan wiase mu. Yare ene abusuamu nsam ne na bebre yakoso tiama nipa cry to one my intimi emfanhie the scienti apawacho bebre emra ye ba besua ho nsami yesrawara we bia kuma bia mu ne adwena etima gye wo nsami etimi dia bobra na nsan boni wiase mu yesan so ede doctor kwame ehya wonsa esro se ne wo a wo de ma no na odi amaye no awrade mo mfa ni nyina amaye na ntimi nge na se ewie bibia de wasida ama san ede omo amunya ma fidie so nyina so hye wonsa esro so bo kaka obi a na nyina ya baso na etie ede sa health message we ede abobra da wase e Yesu Kristo dem nti amen.
Amen. Any doctor that was bebre say we dey see ayo na ne ni e be shemu wie and we say for say doctor no see akoma wo ho say ne yin anim no awia program na ya na tie adisua di wia akoma wo say so pese bisa question bia na wo mo bia obetimi e dey aba ene ye nsemre no doctor betimi ahya ase madam e da se bebre
we say for mamu nyina happy Sabbath. Yete ye hon ka che hoping say obia ho ye to so bi omi mamu nyina ya akonso asem wa si fie ze nua prempe wa free mu nti no areho aba but yiri se nyame no abahye nyina de no akyekyere ne yire ne manso me bo mu nyina ya akọ I hope say Chichira nyame de mano obesha omuden na omonso enya abotoye mu medam penifo nso ehwe men's ministry for no so asese mo invite me say me yenyina ye mesua de kakra ye metu ye hofo we no enyeso obi ni bibi no obeka ba yenyina ye beka aka ye ho na so ba ko bia na mienu bi na obenya ato trimu a na so de akoye abusua ni enti na amane no na and some domestic issues and how to be a very prominent household person. So the you kind of saying, "Oh my, post the role of men in a healthy home." Ninyinaye can't some corona. Into a babu ninyina should be na. Biology teacher be a watch then inquire and no can say it's hard to be a man. So that statement don't cry we can dissect it. It's hard to be a man indeed, especially in this modern times and in this day and age. It's hard to be a man. It's hard to be a man, which is a okra no answer the ever no. Na there is a chance that we beat me about that. Just the default is to be a female, and chance that obey you hired. Now it take a lot of work before say a man. It is hard to be a man, and say a near my baby take place and son why a mama. One more biology, the SRY gene, sex region on Y chromosome. Says our gene no as a sample over your basis here. Says our gene now it is hard to be a man, but to be a woman by default means ba akorano. Wanyo ba na just obedane bema just city be obey oba betimi abaso obey oba, but there is a lot that goes into being a man. Nyame ada ma why bema wi na oda ye funum no kra say o Ghana dey na just any trouble kra so started because papa no akon homa kra so enti no na maame no ni yinse mu nyina ne bo fun ho aro odi tititi ho. Enti no akora na ya ne ko twiko bata ya wo wa ne bi so astate be attack o se pese kun se wo Africa dia bro pete pese kun tenchem pese kun enti no it's hard to be a man. Se nunu bi enku bacteria ne virus se wo krom ho fin ne ko bi ne pese oti chese mu ne monitua. It is hard to be a man. Say nyame boa na otimi survival childhood diseases na unya immunity no anwa infant disease now by a child. It's hard to be a young boy especially in Africa. Na a hakura society, it's hard to be a child, a boy child who goes to a bullying. One play tough umfi yankinkiti a cheze wa ran crofo befa ebebu afa so aburo. It is hard to be a man. Obey a young adult, obey pubescent age, adolescent age. It's hard to be a man. And on a peer pressure, and here and I just say, and Crawford say what Greenamo follow bad crowd. It is hard to be a man. Nanyame boa now nini worry now ma. And also easy. You have to provide for the family. So it's hard to be a man. Now, some tough cry, and it is hard to be a man. There may cause me Kenya say, we cannot succeed. That's all I'm trying to say. It's hard to be a real man. Any fool can make babies, but it takes a man to raise a family. It is hard to be a man. Na the me done say no ya be join group a nyamesom for and until we gain support from each other. And I'm hoping that we support each other to succeed. Because it's hard to be a man on your own. It takes God to be a real man. It takes God to be a real man. Because your responsibilities and your duties are enormous. I was so now a spiritual leader of the family. I was so now almost spiritual group. Now they are sure, yeah, me no be no as never can cry. Me no be I cry every upon it. And then so yes, I be sure be there. But how you ready? I heard my dear. And the ano my pastor penny the cry, the anam who cry, mama. Oh, Sako pastor in house to headache, I call home spiritual leader. Oh, dear crowd to me, and our will be there. Oh, family, the ultimate. It's hard to be a real man. Obi abeti me I did do, but to be a real spiritual leader, no, it takes a lot of effort. To be a real, to take care of your spiritual growth of the family, no, there's a lot involved. No, sorry, no boy in Christian family relation or a boy in. And the major so for near certain penny for normal dealing with the spiritual aspect. Now, maybe I can want some kakran and say, yes, spiritual. You have to provide for the family. The financial needs of the family, you have to make sure the needs of the family are met, both physically, spiritually, financially, emotionally, all of the above. And we are bema ufia or responsibilities in a dosopa or responsibilities in Sumudu. Nyame hwese obetimi fulfill all these responsibilities. Na jise yesansere nyame homo ano yetimi are successful. The question I'm able to say where have you made your investments? Investments in a hana o yena na say here or there or both. Here or there no ne Ghana some na make investments a hen a war hana say o yeno Ghana. And how yen be hane Ghana. The India me busas our question when I won't say yabe trabroni chromache na yabe mawa ha yabe yini waha. You move your high at do change said the Ghana. But the question I'm asking is where are your investments? Where do you plan to stay for the rest of your life? Okay, can even be brief, but the question I'm asking right now is see Uzikani what they are called Ghana, I see a dying to a cars here, and I say, who invest what has he? Now, the Emma Busa sign and say, you move BSC dying Ghana for over 30, 25, 30 years. And I'm ground there, movie that. Now, I'm here, Ghana for not being so dear bay slaves, Jesse. Yeah, and every sissy down now, sister Keto, no, if you or Jesus for no, need to depart, didn't partner for you. Oh, qua watch out 2 weeks, walk away, won't a down crash, yes, I don't know. O kokore munyo wakono, no down any hotel grand out of. So where are your investments? Almost to a nano media may say wardrobes I may call ya me yan come. Ya saying na me and I'm saying renovation, they don't care. Where are your investments? Is it here or there? Or have you invested in both places? Now remember, if you are the man of the house, think about family, first. And and then you didn't come on, but you can't say kakrafe and we have been. Where is your investment? If you are the man of the house, ensure the health, the well-being and health of the family. Start with yourself. Until the being here say, "Oh, benyapo modino." Call a annual checkup. Amphibia, say, no, they are near prostate check and blood pressure and blood work. Sunday money here, officers say, no, as a pillar of the house, no, family, no, as much as we don't realize it, nyame the SEC very high responsible positions. It is a who who say what her family, and I say, how prepared are you if you go untimely there, and then they had this very disturbing to the family. But so what to do near me, yeah, nyame adaroma will be able to be nobody would do 10,000 years crowd, but come to Sala crowd, I say, yes, my idea, someday we will go. But how well are you preparing yourself? How well are you ensuring say won't go untimely? Meaning said, name ubo hubain that be buying the no it start with yourself. Do the annual health checks. Make sure say you're eating healthy. Make sure you're doing some exercises. Make sure someone join gym be, yeah, na empire boy. Be empire born the Bible the other physical part no sunya. And don't think say I prayed over bonfire the exercise. No, I say physical beings. You need both prayer and the exercise. Something to think about. A place of retirement here or there. Or retire or Canada and also retire or Ghana. If so, how well are you preparing yourself? Or see retirement home. Now, my tip we on the year anymore, and that's a broad and why it did everyone say, so see Abrosaya. Mom, dear, my advice back on your form hope a die back because a middle stage won't mean for Abrosaya, a form now better. So a form who here, and I just say, Usas Abrona Diablo, now what you mean at that form her. Say, Hanson, I very tired. Has seen us Rebecca Cran, as soon as they had down cried as soon and you baby a down war. Becca crown to me fruitful. Would they say, all my APS of you, you want to catch you. Uncle Bones Abrani Akokra, main floor Hanum, to almost to me fruitful. Becca Crana could to drink to me Nimwell. It won't mean for Abrosano. Where would you stay? And here I very tired. Over retirement home will groom her. And I said, Uber Quacotragan and Wabber show me a dewa. And I'll be any meaning. Which one is it? Think about it. Now, what is your end of life wishes? Sebi Ghana for Niane and Tan Cassa and Semwe. O Cassa, oh, yang. Hey, na me who are saying I'm Ben Canam Fuano Mosudavi. It will be a part of the human cycle. We will grow and someday we will die. And we need to make plans for our end of life. Ubi oha or percent you're resuscitating a DNR. Do not resuscitate. Say, me yembre minya heart attack. Na my me mamma try some say mumamenko. And on our pana coming into Trotuho, my yere asunti, ye will make a wasem. Fasho will say nam boako cry, say nam pese. Se cobase yaribi bombing, menya stroke, mintimin casano. Mammon hamon, may a medical sonia, kind of say locking syndrome. Say koye basilar artery no and a clot to bemwa ubenya locking syndrome. So that time now to me kasa, what do you want us to do? Do you want your wife to pull the plug? Yeah, kasa same way, but we need to start talking about it. We need to make it clear. Nya fi no Drew hono na abeya deswa ma sorry no ana abeya deswa ma wo ana abeya deswa ma busuafo. But bra was sound mind. Chrotoho, kohun lawyer, yen shishe no to se kobase mi wo state see mo a see na pesa munyem emame. E base me amintimi nwunim fa emame ho a see na pesa munye. Na nya de fufuro. True case, me mama example. Krum here, in fact, me patient be no a friend before class ana. Me ko siango ma be. Na anyway, ni tie mo answer oni ni kunam ni mo pa. Na papa ni nya stroke. Krum here. He was locking for 11 good years. Starting on doctor for catch him and say, "Ukun no vegetable." Inji entu plug no onko. Hey, me na me nkotu na abusuafo abakasa me na mkun no. Chese hunhun ni surunti wanye ena papa enso da ho no wonzo a owu. 11 years. Ma me ni did hospital akoni abasa 11 good years. Na me pa cho metimi asraka nipa mo so no metimi ehumanim. Na aze de America se gunframa mo mi hunu bia o.
Yo hopa yo ho.
Tindi amuma me humanim. Na me uza me nipa na edi nkomo na me hunu he. Na asema make mami enti obi a was mesro de bi we na me nipa me hunu nipa do e so. As it do 27. Ti wa wetimi bi we na me. Okay, anyway, na me hu se me ni mu di nkomo. E nyina e fa ho ade. But anyway, asema na me kantino papa oda ho 11 good years na mami ni di hospital akoni aba. Kaipa na me wo clinic ko Toronto oba. Chese no be fa ho kran so yare. Okonso ade utimi kwaya so okobubu ni mawre no yi da bodwese. Wako da ho onzo onim de ekoso obi aso. Okọ wese na no asa no or Brandon Nin or Blankesa. They can say he's in a lock-in syndrome. Onim de ekoso bia. But it's answer on no ni shishe bia da hontino. Ena ne yire susuru abusuafo ntino. Ena Ghana for so kasa bebiri ntino. Oba na pulu plug no. Ena oja no be made out. 11 good years. Until what is your final word? Who should give you, what do you want? Shisha toho, shuro toho. Your will, make a wasem till the minimum money. But maninya well known to a family. Sabaya chinabina enquire burden emma abusiafo. And here na pesi isiwo se nyame frewa krum ha na se emfa fun ko Ghana ana se uko Ghana kura emfa fun free Ghana mesio ha. Let it be known. Ebe onwa se afi funu da ho na oni abusiafo ne woku. Na abusiafo ne ma no na na ehuna mane. No mo ne ye be antino. Eno I feel that me hunu we mu bi ani me pass because and now yes. Okay, anyway, intino me hunu so say what is my wish? This is my wish and this is my will. Me pese se nyame eto ne safre me a se yes obi ko won sapa ampomu de sanfa ne mafio right say me hu Ghana de na munsi mu ha ba se hu okrum ha de a ma mfa me ko Ghana munsi me ha. Now remembrance day bi am ma beto so flower se sala pa atwoto na me bed na fi na bu ne din tokwasem ne manso sem bibri efunu da ho na abusuafo kire o powers de me hu o yen Ghana for abusuafo o Ghana ho edi sebe ya o yire ne abusuafo me yen tokwa bi anya se ye ne be wukane eba no so memba mo so wa no so twime hunu de won so ope na ukunu se jame fasa ma jame tun nsafro no se kwadwo ahomia ukunu ha mebere ne so it let it be known there is nothing wrong with that. So we try to say na me pay me wishes me wona fufu bi a o me ya brofo na me kai pa say they may declare to each other so we ni we na pay omgra de cremation be man si mi wu a mon shimi mamu mamenta mon kosi bibia mon shifunu ta no atwa to oba no so si me so madwene yes madwene me ntimi decide for myself mon fa me nkotana na sin hobui na mpe sa no atwa to so it is a cobase Alzheimer has been a betchina na di bench e bi betchina oni bi o na bia say no I and a wish and then a will at all. Yeah, and we refuse to think about or we refuse to plan. And when we fail to plan, then we plan to fail. And I reacted to only situations, which is not the best thing at all. Aka 2 is our program about so afin and here be amana ve and yet no, we got to plan ahead. And yes, I feel na wuna bana feel and never person and then never no plan ahead. And here I had person see me. No, me person me from the Ghana. Me no be so oku Ghana one the man say or to or trot was it owu Ghana kro man the man unko fan free Ghana machine okroma. So which one do you want? Make it known. They told you how should your estate be handled? Your estate, and then they say, "Oh, Japadi, say na." Until they can say, "Your will to." So we nampe me pese kumase dan me dema me yire ne mema. Enkran dan me dema me yire ne mema. Na mum de me si we krasi de me abusuafo. Let it be clear. My entron to your will, kohun lawyer, kruma. Ne bo so nyedno, minia. Ne bo nyedni. Retain a lawyer. Madam Fubi can say me chire na me dwen ho e no krepa. O say e wi ase we nipa me nsa bi wo ho e so for madam for. Baako a lawyer. Baako a doctor. And a baako a accountant. So uncle for me and say who are now for me and so we are. Can who say bibia we be track you we occupy. It kohun lawyer, retain a lawyer. Kroma e tin so de mra ye adwumo na ye na ye mu mra ni ntino ya na ye dwen se but asem sia na hu se mra na ye de adwuma on se na anu ya bantie na obo nipa etuo mienu kumo ma ba ko plan ye ja no say ye so go free broni akwara bi na o mo ye rat so mo follow news no ni be make enye de e feelings e de ye na de kon e fact a present let it be known. What do you want? How do you want your estate to be handled? So, let it be known. Now we will know so I can't sorry why. Sorry no time you sorry no papa. Yeah, well near but the point should be that what can I do for the church and not what the church can do for me? That's how it should be. They say, yeah, and the Ghana before I ever bet not going to. Into yeah, and I was planning near myself. A boy, sorry, a boy. On the entity, as you say, but any more candidate, but yeah, near war, sorry, be said, will be our tafua, sorry, or crew from an answer or bantama, sorry. So I'm sorry, not near woman, I have only depend on us to succeed at, for sustenance somehow. Crow from Fosi, I could see TF come sorry, because if Rabruch, no qua, open baby, I don't so grow your baby. So now I'm a junior, so I'm a go on crying, he no Jones, said Jones so bad for the yes, near point, I saw down hopefully. Not just a man that featured, I saw anyway, Winko, or the mamma in your picture. It wasn't the best thing, Okwa, Ufrabruch, and yes, a quadrants of baby, I saw for Jones. So this is not the right thing. Come farm come near the Amateur. And to think about what you can do for the church, not what the church can do for you. Anyway, me the first party, basically, I said, we're near a near man, I'm passing a dream, Yari and prostate cancer and hypertension, and oh, you beat me, I can't want them. But me who's a near be we know so near my here said Ghana for SDA for that for Toronto, young men and old men. As they say, average age about 50. And today, we are in this, most of us are in this category. We need to start thinking seriously about these issues. Intimacy to me discuss that's fine. And make us intermission at the best and just me poso has to be at the Macabedri. Will be your questions and comments be near the atuaso. Now say I yes idea examine the baby about 41 slides. The next item I wait me can domestic abuse, domestic issues na make come once. But me pause to have for now. Not the my can for the past 25 minutes will be home questions and our comments or the above. If we're able to discuss this and it sinks in for some of us, I think my goal and my objectives will be achieved. Until no matter so we will simply be saying our comments be making on this.
Yeah, Kontamo a question back Kubisha. special for me for a long time. And then so what's not there be bomo me if I 1 minute now see to be a man is very hard.
Yes.
And I feel so near waki kakuni no I am say unyanka ma dear too much dear, but I can't form no and as a Ghana no you see no ye who yani say ya na Miss Lamika we a fact but Miss Lamika me when him nyansa sene enkwakra adentia.
Okay, question for you now be answer wait me provide it. What dream somebody when him nyansa chen kokra
Bi enyam madwene no sa na eda ho so yesu sa no ye bibia ye se yenkobi sabrewa ma ntisi ye se yenkobi sakwakra da
no just say woman nim nyansa ntro de me nim say
ye na me nso me dwen ho ne say em se nkwakra ne tanya Alzheimer's and tem
I don't know okay anyway me jabo bi a kire na adwen answer but de me nim ne say emrewa no say ye society no which I would have talked about in domestic violence and domestic abuse. A male dominant society, so what I say. Now the attendant say, I never can say, yeah, Nanky, come, Mashepa, we be a more person, Mamru, it you to see them, a two them, a won't simply be a country, a male dominant society. Yakuku school. Oh, papa, one for Indian man, romantic, and said, I'm to almost papa. So, if you maintain you don't need Indian man of fan, almost profono, a cowum, because all one are fine, your pan school, so yes, woman, woman, yes, papa, no, more shema. So, what I say, into a male dominant society, Nadia who says, and the 4 years or Munya back when he said, Isan se mema no ya na ye ne ye kasa wo badwam ne de abrewati e chiri din on the observe said the name eko enti no abrewa no mom ehunu dynamics of the case no e chen ye in the midst or the forefront of the argument no and abrewa so otinsem neme mai di sekuru ijare nsem sekuru otini nyina ne de ye keka okuru enti sa abrewa no exoni ni nyina so Edia, uhunu say na asem ne ko akɔwi eti yaka se nkobusa abrewa ya na mrewa no ewo omani da form omuni de ekoso omuhunu niema broader picture no echen ye mema na ye na ekokoti semtini gina forefront aye ko aye hunu de ekoso sa na me madwene ye me ana de kakra me nim no de ba obi so betimi a kire na adwen se ye kwase nkobusa abrewa what does that it mean say mrewa nim nyansa chen kokora na. Any other questions? Any questions on this issue of Uya Bema was said ufi and Yama was ototo answer na BBSC was all your world too. A beboa, kwarane, ma oban. A beboa, ama wabushi and fonso who de ope. Nanyese we na fe na uni ama na oyire bekun so ya na ye no mesreka say before na ye too selfish when you be ho adwene ho ontiase ono ne baba akwa aware de a onko fa de bra ba o no ne baba ma ne ukwa oni oba nso na ebre o ha no de e pese bibia amra o pese maame foni nua ma asem na mekan on pese bibia amra wo fi na je se oba na ne ebre de ono no sebi ono de onye nipa so anyway my observation was enema me no na me sebi hono de but meja mam minim de mekan ana medical ka be pem sa abre obi wo ho asem bi busa ana obi wo ho adwenkyere bi enya sa de a yen trust yen kan domestic abuse no ho asem I think Pacho kasa mantini po kasa
Victor me also meet me busa some kaka
you koso
me manage baby I would share na free ban one cry fast wa e dey pause e be mema to me say Kyerɛ sɛ wokyerɛ mu ma mu da hɔ yi ɛkyerɛ sɛ bɛyɛ bɛrima no a ebi ofiri koraa ansa na wobɛduru ha no ɛyɛ ko ɛnam so ma wobɛduru ha na kyerɛ sɛ saa ko no a na da so a woyɛ dɛn wotoa so
yes
ne sɛ ne mu da hɔ yie paa deɛ mehu ne sɛ asɛ yɛnyini ha kakra no ɛnɛma bi so wɔ hɔ a tɔda kasa wusu a ɔsɛ wo maame kɔ ayie dodo ɛduru so a na kyerɛ sɛ wo so wate ase sɛ nyɛ maame wɔn mu na wɔyɛ dɛn ɔkɔ ayie dodo sɛ yɛn no ayɛ sɛ yɛbɛhyehyɛ yɛn no awofoɔ no anan ama nneɛma bi a no wɔ mu yi a na bi a yɛnte aseɛ no sɛ ne bi a ɛyɛ ama yɛate aseɛ yi ayɛ sɛ sɛ yɛ no kurom ha pension no wɔn awura mu ahu sɛ sika na no nyɛ din bebree sɛnea bi a ebetumi aboa wo ɛwɔ wasetena mu sɛdeɛ ne a hoɔden wɔ hɔ a wotumi kɔba no efisɛ wokɔ pension no a sika no ɛso te paa migrants no bebree no ɛwɔ ha no especially first generation immigrant sɛ yɛn no no bebree no taa pɛ sɛ ɛba ne saa no a wɔn taa kɔ wɔn akyi kakra kɔtɔm frama na kyerɛ sɛ bebree bi so a no wɔn asan aba mi ano nwa bebree Lebanon for Israel for nya war no Canada buying high tile planes bear 4 kɔsesa wɔn sɛ wɔn gu hɔ Lebanon hɔ no na nya asɛm ketewa wɔn bɛtena ha yɛ ma brɛ so yɛ no kɔtena hɔ a no wɔn gye wɔn ahome megye sɛ ne yɛn nso so no yɛbɛtumi afa de so yɛfiri saa nneɛma no mu ana fi sɛ nokore ni wohwɛ brɛ a yɛn koraa yɛgyina yɛn nan so hwɛ aseɛ sɛ yɛbɔ bra ne yɛn nyina wie bebree wɔ hɔ a sɛ yɛgusu etua mortgage yɛ anka bi anka deɛ yɛduro no bi koraa anka sɛ nka yɛ dan anka koraa anka yɛtua wie na yɛbɛtena fie yi na saa nneɛma wɔ nyinaa so so yɛ kɔn ni ade yi deɛ kwan bɛn na sɛ yɛbɛtumi afa so a bɛtumi ama yɛasetena na wie pɛyɛ fi sɛ kɔba ne saa na de yare ne nneɛma bebree dwendwene ne atete bebree na de wahaw bebree so bebree menim sɛ bi ade mebusa no mu ada hɔ yi a
mu ada hɔ paa nti abusuafoɔ yɛn nyinaa yɛ sɛmpa obi wɔ ho adwenkyerɛ bi a sɛ wo retire wɔ ha wokɔ retire wɔ fie wowɔ dual citizenship deɛ advantage ma nti no wobɛtumi akɔtena Ghana na wɔ ha no aba mu deɛ mo adwene yɛ mo sɛ
well, me person me kasa dia I think say a individual ejina wo nipa ne so ane say the Dr. Udi kan echeche mu kire ye na em say ese twini anim da ho aye monchen wa wo te ho no de wonim de wo ye sese ye ya be fa ne sa hoden wo ho ya wutu adamo bi enti ti say de o kan na we decide say wo be retire e wo ha ana say wo be retire wo Ghana and I will be saying question be a very, very, very good. It is a investment sanity. What both and I say a ha and I say a ho. So and also watch them actually. And I think say question many and be saying they're very important, but I can't for ya and crank. It is all when I say be a investment be a whole year when you could I had no why no. Let us say oh be retired na ya but ya na ye mu bebre ye suro ni say they say stroke and answer ya de bia be mo wa chronic and why me kun na de what to na fe o ma wan hwe ya almost all life and a hands-on ti say bi Ghana obe ma so akọ nursing home na ye nyina ya ni tua some nursing homes no de o ko hye ho de a che say punishment ankasa
death sentence gra
It wo hwe saa de ma we nyina na akeka bi bom na atete bi firi mu a na che say wo ye investment kakra bi wo nchi na ja mpanye se kuntu hwane na chira na eko na se wo kɔ wachi na sebi wo faase ana se wadafu bi kura isan se bi a wo fi aburu chira wo sika kakra bi nti investment bi nti no obesensu obi am wanom ana obedware wo but se wa anya hwe wo ho no mu dia ane na che se ase unu hu dia ane edue san se afei na kodana ne na horo nyina e ba beto so na wontimi nku ho ku so abekọ hell na ye nyina ayo sempa
Opelina yo me fa se pobi santu mai ai papa bi omo na na fooding komo na papa ko ka se so yare so unyini so na yare bibiri wo behia abrochira yare so ntino okotena Ghana he so betimi aba abehwe ho yare wa afi bia ena ba ko so ka se wanye japade nso ofia okokora osmo obi ankoto nsuo koro bi ankosa bi ba so atiase in fact in case be practically speaking no say papa no ofia chese the man no na I invest ma obi hwe no because papa no anya hwe o Ghana ho and na wa yare a ontimi nye no ho hwe ntino nkora na de na kwa omo etua kam ye hwe no ahase obi anya adaje nhwe papa no no te ha obi anya adaje nhwe no enti dia munya mo kano no kore na we no ye ya yesi asem sebe nyina etua hofo the office bebo no ye afiri dia mo no so ne so amna besne ko hu se yesa
me mo kakra
wait me abo
ense kakra me pesa me kan de mo Victor question obi sai no me mo bia me sua hunu mu no en dia me ba kru mama sedi no me hu se abofo no kro beto mo ha no se wo munyinia ne bi be 55 ko no o start plan so mo kwakoto down Florida ni mo abofo be bre ya me no adwam fo me no din komo adodo na o 355 ko no ase plan so be kwakoto down Florida because ho na wia wo te ba se snow ne ba se etigu pa ko ko che Florida so no yes ya summer ne spring na no aba ntim se fie hunu mo me hu se yenso yes ebeboa because ebeboa se ka wa pon adwuma na nka snow winter time no akwohye fie se da brofo ye no akoto awia o se wia mu no me nim wa mu doctor for se ba mi fie hunu na me nim se wia no se wo tire wia no so ebo kakra se wunyi nyimu size no se wunyi fie kwa nim kakra wia no ya na ebo kakra sen se obetina wi mu ye nti ka yenso fa saa yi na beboa se ye ka abone ba no akoto na fie to wia no kakra saa wia no epie ha no aba ha o na kwese wo bi wo obi ofie wo kakra so ha na wo di ha no o balance ni sa beboa na ba nye bi ofie na ha no so anye bia emse no so ye nti ni na ye planning o sa wo mo start planning ye no ye say ye hu yi ye betimi start planning say person retire bi 5 bi aka be fie no some retire 5 years from now no nche be na me year towards me retirement o ye say beboa me say na me fie hu o ye say beboa na wa anye fe that's what someone be to wa na bia emwa ma untimi nye sie pa no ye na wo de the instructor me po so pa e good pa se be sa cause wo japadi o Ghana no how wo ne nkoba Ghana die no to wo Ghana no wa Ghana die no wo hands no wa ha je se be ya e balance e busuafo na wo ne tumi hu de wo pese wo ye ne de wo pese wo yi bia wo mo de wo pese wo di ja on de wo pese wo di bija we ni na nto wo kini after no ba esa na me spanje da se
da munyina ase obi wo fufu
da metumi akata kaka
acho betimi ko so
ampa cho ready ni
yo hey kozo
pensioner no ho
etio
na da Victor ka sembi fase ebi a wo be call retirement kra na bia wo mortgage ne ade kra wo ntua nwie ho na mpese me fa ho kaka na bia masen room ya na yen Ghana for no anase Africa for komene Nigeria for so nante kakra ye culture na anase ye suba bebre ho a suatra so bu okwa wo hwe ni income o jepa na wo hwe house a wakota ono aye adwuma 6 days as 7 days kra no ni tua kra nye easy koto fie kakraka ni ade into wo be ko pension ma wo income a wo je no ye be ma o mu be 40% no eno betumi atua wo mortgage na enti ne mi hu ni say eda eka say bia wo be ko pension na bia wo ntumi ntua no bebre abrofo no bebre ni omo ye no say Edua no adansazi say condominium bi na woton ofie no na se betumi atwa no wakoto we are lucky we akra woton a kakra benya na betumi atua condominium no nyina amawa na je say why mortgage free now to baby na yeka Africa ya na eda esumeka no akwa individual ba me de misu ehunu pa me vie nurse na me koye admo nurse hu bi downtown na Nigeria ni guy bi nya guy kwa papa payin so ba krom oba ware buoni ewo cargo ba bi na minim de nti a oyale ya no omo shepo ade ne beto Toronto nursing home bi na hwe Nigeria ni pa na yaye mashed potato na ye de gravy egu na ye tetema pa mi jona mere aho so inti se yes hwe yes so nti wo benyini pa ma ye do akoto nursing home na wo fufuo ni wa mpesi anka wote ha wonya wudi kama no eho wonya nibio inti no me bebre ho a say ye nyino no ye put into consideration say o lifestyle na unyin kra na se konkra na de wontumi independent o mo so wo mo bills o mo life so mo lead ti ye life no pa de wontumi inform to o mo so ti the best no betumi aya mo answer wo de wo be ko nursing home na wa ye admo nursing home obu a wotumi tina ho pa bosome ko bosome sia na the family bi am visit no ba kakra me hu se wotumi bo modern kakra fa afia enam kakra waye ko ubenye obi ama na betena wonchen a mfanse obetumi abo so wo Ghana na ye do pension ba pa na mfanse $1,000 to $2,000 which is 80 million we pay we sika do so cha MP kura wo Ghana you can live and live well inti no mebu wo ha no asese na wo di nkomo Ghana na wo compare ba kromia pa de minisi ehun ntina da esumika say individual by individual na akwa individual so when we experience bi na obeka che onu bibia na onim na obesua na wasua ko ye gi no awone ngwenta bana nkwa obesha wo dem a nyame ampata ko otumegu da na obi anim se wagu ada wo dem Ghana so intense into no mebu you face the fact no aka no krona che nipa no ye nyini pa no ye mana ye hwe omo no untumi mfa obed nkoso so ni basement na wo kwatra na da bia muai inti ye decide na wo decide na sika no wo yuso na wo yuso ni no wo hune o hihye ebeboa wo for wo future say ye can Ghana health system nipa bebro Ghana your friend is saying omo yo kia o kono hospital and say time so say nyankopon so wo bewu a o call Lincoln hospital kwa wo bewu it makes me experience no me mo aso ba de
that's it.
Where you know how crying about well no and not the person me commenting on kakra maybe wo krum han mo I was saying that aware so we citizen as a permanent resident no tax mono wo properties ni with income across the globe is subject to tax. Yemu Ghana phobia honomo or dine idea or Ghana ne boko animo pa and so ye declare and into say oh yeah well no but more na separate Emma Ghana dear no enye under Ghana law na ekrom ha dear no enye under Canadian law. If we say so carrying na bomu now declare our Canadian side no BBC that's a winning wa nimpo bedi wa de wa ha say yo yiro say yo kun say yo ban wo property Ghana na ye valued over $100,000 a buy no be canning na bomu a tax so a friend capital gain tax and sana your friends obedi wadie no etumi enyane die is going to be part of your estate and it is more structure well no when you're very careful so when declare what taxes so there and here we are well no separate well and yes a friends and capital gain tax no be will a bra will be won Manuasi.
Any other comments on the subject thus far? So maybe anybody I will delve into the abuse part, domestic abuse. And the when you say mupi at pain, we are just having a conversation. And yankaka and hokakra. Domestic abuse is a family abuse, and as a binum cancer, intimate partner violence, and now domestic violence. Nina actually the same thing. Nana cry anything, and it said you are misusing a family member or treating a family member with cruelty. You move a brain, said the Sika Sandy Pahokra. Anyway, we drew her my emphasizing that part. Now, yeah, now I agree said domestic violence and other domestic abuse, it's not happening, but it is happening amongst us, in our neighborhood, amongst our friends, and it's going on. Now, me some question we you can't domestic abuser a man go on your boy movie, yes, I no cry and I say no cry. Hello.
I try a money be boy.
Okay, just 1 in 3 women and victims, and 1 in 4 men and victims of physical violence by intimate partner. Into a man be so my giant or member of you, it goes both ways. Now the attorney said, Yana a tower man more chance, and I say mass suffer more chance a member. Enquara, sir, domestic we can perpetrated against Enquada and Peninfo elderly. Because I said they see 3 2 or more, just so there's a diaper, and it be an ear can was no. Sentinels over person what's not here. But also will be up a Janins 647 77 710. Pajoni, go ahead. Hello. Okay, maybe on your way so Janisa. Okay, it's physical abuse and domestic abuse. It happens across the board. It's happening in our communities. It's happening in environment, our friends, and it's going on against females mostly, but it can occur in children and the elderly. Domestic abuse, in all religions and cultures, in all societies, all classes of people, rich and poor. It tends to be more in the socio-economic class. There's a sikano ho din intino nan tokwa sem kwa and kurano child benefit kurano na yen tokwa. There's a mini case be a papa man ni oba kitty pao. Adi awari jayeba. Oba man so oba ni jiskano on famano. Oba no sin quarantine yede ma so de to investment man kura. Na yen tokwa din. It's no me who ye. Now they are hard and say domestic abuse, it takes so many forms. I've listed about 7 right here. Physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, reproductive abuse, and religious abuse. You will calling them one by one to end starting. Physical abuse, and then say physical abuse, and say, oh, you didn't answer Bemano pro banner, din, just say butu no yen ka se mo tu ne na wo no keka no piano de ahoma chichire no kura timi bonusum so the bufu adi kura ni bia no ato bonipa and now you rough me ya de wa kogana me nam do babro chiri so by all these verbal attacks there's a woman nipa no asumdie and nya asumdie enti physical form acid attack so shit mean acid attack in Ghana me call Ghana na no me call adwuma akra na me case bi ba mani one papa me call ya there be na ordinary sister say one the number Nitrimi chese wo de men say ya nitrimi ni ade de tene say one bema one ne tino o say bema no problem vinti on pe bema bi edi kan bema no koyam pentoa edi gu ni nkwan and I'm saying one kakan chira process for kakan ya anya na hwe na de na Ghana and we de obema no tete na ba no kodwuma no papa ba no okotete no ba bi ofa kwan fa so kodwum no ko hwia si gu no so na ba no ya wudi asigu no de ba clinic mention na de chese the free ni tiri ni nanim ene ne kokoso ne no fo ho ne chese na me kuma pa se bom na chese ho na mpese approach for e wase ekwachi bema na me refuse me Ghana say I dey go kakra na say what damage you be say na de ya no madwe yo mi asese me ntimi ngwa de ani obi a ntimi ngwa to be damage you so man bibiri ye bo mutu ku omo sa I hope say be see mu dade na India phone the bride burn and diary killing no the cause of no you can't say family abuse and physical abuse no be prominent in all socioeconomic classes. Sexual abuse no so be a reproductive coercion. Now when you say we want to hear movement me jaw now we should say one me jaw and sim say basa can some basa chire yire ne mukwara chese bi o ha ya na nyefe kura and unwanted sexual comments ya wo timi aba also yenyina ye chengi yenyini bra no bia esisa mitri hu se na mi wo hu bebe na God is my baba so obia ustisa no ba no so sesa enti fa no hu nam bia esisa ni di natem emfa nye no na ya na bi o ho ya na takra ye nuanu bi kura wo sim de na o mse mina ma ware what tiska yo ho ade de he dem pbia o some yo no it's not like that and you know we need to be very careful incest and no de bibia I am hoping say bin see mo de but ni nyina forms of family abuse ni bia emotional abuse no so be ni say no tete ni yire tete ni kunu o tete obi so talking no I am crofo no bi here de it's against the law mo amonim law mon chire asore man o kotete to be against the law kroma obi a will to do whatever they want one na choose so obesum nyame ya no man nsum ni nyame what I say now nipam didu ya tem kunani wase tete so one ho na anyway unrelenting criticism bia nkwa na ari oyirenye bia na ari okuninye didi na terms na da born charge the beyond the onya de pada ni nyina emotional abuse ni bia na just o kasa na nimu ama onye self worth and just as on the onye ni pakura making feel guilty about the church as when I the ba utimi hwema and I also your papa utimi hwem just and some I can kire ho we need to be careful sometimes you know yes, sorry, them one word and then to me, yes, and the question, it to me, church, and oh, you Christian. It starts from home. Some of us are very guilty about the way we talk to our spouses. Some no head to crash and cardi to board. Bi ho a obun kwara no sebe ana o mo krama bi ana o kra bi ofie ho a obun se onim se oba no pe krama na senti oburu ne krama na je sa heti oba no bi on so afi ne bufu ba bo glasses ofie ho no man kwara ne o yiri ni nyina na se be man so ne kwara ne nyina no wa mo ma disturb you know it shouldn't be so edi nyamsum me dey say na me hu say a daily living and yes me timi ko to Bible pepri na so me kofi a timi di o yira tem me say no be case be say odi ni yire de oba na sebe na mo nyina to de me ma no also sorry a ko pa bi so and you know anyway threatening to report him or her to the police or threatening say o de me ma na o minim so oje wa fe let me a chortum. Okay, can we when you welfare when it's kind of welfare. If you leave me a commission side, now and the car mukra said you be see a driver no person or ban I am shisham kwa said the ordinary car no could ditch no wouldn't unreasonable jealousy and suspicion. There's a one that be out on you be any. Also trustworthy. Also trustworthy. So that be a way of jealousy. Anyway, I hope you guys get the picture. Economic financial abuse, and also the same. Said the king, a Japadia, and I will damn me, you left free. Yam no dia, and Canada no beans all there. And yam no dia, when away the Brampton dia toy, down payments and I buy it. Chese, well, you don't know the now, you don't know me. So Kunuzu now Kuno, Timunia Modia. Yafin I did a bonnet more than anyway. Not wanting the progress of your spouse or her family in education. So for because he was a Ghana's Oma Coco Andrews, no, the example. So Doctor, I'm hearing so almost again, Omoy. Their progress should be something I was saying. If it's one call money, my and yes, I feel an out person or no, you're dependent on you all the time. So, near Juma, Nasabaya, I or no, sorry, I know the 22 bottom, no. Buana so on so be Jinan and Asu. If you didn't idea, near can earlier no, a child only were no one sweat to me survival. I read the chilling in we so. And family abuse and economic abuse in the Binono. Religious abuse in the and not the no cry na charming sumukra. Yet the Yamsumu Popo Nipa. So on said major religions, we say Judaism, Christianity, Islam, traditionally, a male dominant religion, religious groups. And yana a misuse male dominance. Maybe a bema de menam kind also tea, what they say. No. Yeah, man, and penny we say, man, well, no, it's debatable, but the point in it is we should give them a voice. That's the point. They should let them also express themselves. And now, sorry, no, so no, pray our so dear. Now, will be so show be many say will be if acid good nipas free, dear neighbor, and then me jama sorry penny for. If you have a question for you, dear I feel the abuse, mostly, not the one, the abuser wants to cause fear and panic in the individual person. Or say, yeah, who the heady po? Yeah, Ghana forms of Coradiana worse. Can be a perceive control be arguing. And also saying, yeah, a perceive control Crawford the beer, but Yami or boy or do be a permanent. Yet we want to create fear in people, and that's what as a man who can of pain. Somebody as a who a many pagidiejo, and Tinubon some the who renny pep. Now bet me a fire be as also the who row yonkum, and we are now, which is not true, which is not supposed to be. What I say, it shouldn't be so. I didn't know person gain control. Yeah, you're so controlling, say. So problem no and a higher will feel. Now be higher was sorry, now higher were dreaming because 10 be our person control the baby. That should not be the case. Nyami boy will pure power, man. Love people, show them compassion and care. And never more my love will back. Nyami grow boy and was really open the them. The debut will be boo attain. Unforeseeing. Yesterday, any say, person or chinchina or point. Intimate a man of fans who cry say no, because you have foresaw woman or my idea. It's only how very open. Anyway, I hope you get the point. To cause fear in people and to control people, not the many who cry because as I said, Nyame on my freedom of choice in the freedom of free will, but anyway, there's something to think about. Domestic abuse no causes so many problems. A man quiet table, a correct or kusku nyadi or timid because all free fear no pane papa and mammy couldn't ding. You who yen any anyo. A timid cause of broken bones, permanent disfigured faces. Oba make us and call Ghana and treating. She say when young scar forever and ever. Obi a fiasi the gunus was send me image because or say one mammy and I mean Obi and some intimate water. Now you're selfish as okay. It causes depression in people, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder. It can turn someone into a hypochondriac. There be an over, Bisminia patient be about there be a if in the phone, Nakoni Sisi, Nakoni tea, Nakumayani ya, Untimin home, the Hunaminate to know, there be all complaint, Ubicum, near Bruno fee. So, because a mammy be pa, or that. Also ultimate bopiti no sorry na name to me shin no sorry I didn't drink any kuno because Bema need to be put for free. I didn't know cause panic disorder in somebody's will be a baba now be babema. It can cause internal bleeding, head injury, making victim feel guilty for provoking the abuse. I okra I am on board. We are now able no one I am on board. Oh yeah, anyway. And you know, we should, if it's happening in the church, we should take action. We should do something about it. So me clinic over catch him say because many cases me brace me club me and I say and you know only me person me which you let them and I'm going a house because me couldn't boom me and I'm saying pause. So by my office, but catch him so who couldn't boa. My first obligation is to send a report to my police. Doctor, we are obliged to do that. So Baba the catcher was a Nikunu Bono. Police, there was all my police assault. Then my boss said Nira threaten or some my police assault. Emrano no. Now the NTS Amra we buy and said, Doctor Bia will be back here complain. A chance any Kunu Penabono, Kuno Penecuno. Oh, call dear grow on Kumbia, and wine your horse. I'm penny and pa man ko bo ba ni tu. Ye ko ba za free the ba no crow for issue doctor no big time. And idea emra senti doctor for obi ba ho be ka se ni kunu penabono. Ma approach for anti o mhwehwem na nya no kra ko no obi akon baby. Since o betra ho no obi akunu o baby. Enti mo asore for us me the air futu asore penny for ni asofo. Excuse me, so be Bruno yere, be Bruno Kuno, never catch him, one track now, as I'm said, maybe see her. Pure home here intervention, but you know, domestic abuse and any family abuse and way, you know. Now, my dear query, and me one simple person who some anti domestic abuse, and physical abuse, domestic violence, no, it's only physical, true or false. Hello, is somebody
false? It's false.
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 Yep.
And you know, what are the other forms of domestic abuse?
Emotional abuse.
Also, you.
Physical, emotional.
Financial abuse is one of them.
Very good. And you.
Verbal abuse.
Verbal abuse, very good. Okay, I think you all get the point. Domestic abuse, violence is not common. Is it true or false?
It's false.
And you know, how uncommon is that? Where does it happen?
It can happen within families, friends, anywhere.
Good. I just want to make sure myth number 3, domestic violence only affects women. True or false?
False.
False.
It does affect men too, but mostly in women. Yeah. It's false.
Okay, all right. My idea. Okay. Remember, I say it's a myth. Domestic violence only occurs in rural, lower class, or minority communities. True or false? Hello? Is somebody
False.
there?
False.
Okay. All right. But women can just leave. I don't think it's that easy, right?
No.
Never.
It's not,
Never
it's
easy.
never. It's not easy.
Yeah, some of them. And the abuse takes place because of alcohol or drug use. Is that true or false?
False.
False. False.
False.
Okobo umpire free prayer meetings never obi fiano on the atazo. Oh, dinner term say and the abused person can just fight back or walk away. I think you answered. The victim provoked the violence. Is that always the case?
No.
No.
Okay. So domestic abuse is a private matter, so it's none of my business. What do you say to that?
That's not good. It has to be our business.
It has to be our business. So as a church body, what's going to happen? Tina Hanuman first acquaint because maybe Anissa. Mimusa sorry penny for a mola isu. Obi brone yere, obi brone kunu, obi preprane yere, and anima. What do you do? Somebody says it's none of my business. So what do you guys say?
It has to be our business. We have to look out for one another.
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, Onipa no ome report to a yesi obi nsi trodo matwa e matwa.
Sorry, Penny, but I saw baby because I'm maintenance. Hello, which someone, the lady?
Yeah, sorry. I managed to understand you. I don't speak to you, but I'm catching it, but it's okay.
That's okay. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that communication, even observation, can give us an idea of what is going on. It can tell us if something is going on. It has to be our business. When it comes to some people being going through abuse, we have to make sure our eyes are open. Communication, talking to people or talking to one another can give you info of what's going on.
Okay, Elder Kafro Koso, now perceive Tiobana can answer.
Question, no say I'm say to my elders in Tina Nanka me.
Koso, Kafra.
Yeah, that me can say, Sebi, obi nsi trodo matwa. Inti ade bi wa do wa ya na say you very careful. Bi wa no bit ma classify say you are too nosy. Oh, inti but be other ones who said he said you can said we a doctor and I say wo clinic even emergency crowds will be back. That's all fairness and the case now waka no wo yeah we no triage nurse no crowd no nipa ko case now waka no wotumi say abuse as say report.
Yeah.
But in the church na bia wunim eno no na akoye ne ho bibia ho but say wo beka say de we na ekoso dia ene asafo ne timi tu ho anamon na che say why say sanction wo no ye mfa nchew.
Okay, and I said benefit will be a question be answer for you.
Kwame, I said na ya na me no me wo a little bit of a friend say challenge. It said domestic abuse way, and yet it borders on criminality. And criminal matters, so the Asorino doesn't have the power to deal with it. Yenye culture no, the ya etaba say, one who say ubi edi ubi nyedwano, or so away the abumien CC no fear. And sana yenye dititi, but the kumhana yaban, and running my who paisa. And my church, I a little bit of a friend saying of a safe haven for crime sometimes. And mean to me, how we're going to blend our culture with the legal friends and requirements of the country. And known as we penny and also your software went to me and for 19 team no be ankase be see you are going to be in big trouble.
Maybe my advice. On said at the CIA church na Yamin Pengu, Yishan Yas, Yam Pengu, Alata for a crew with Chichinoma, near Refuse Lagos, Babaso Yako. But anyway, Yamin Pengu, na the attendant said, young Panzer and Korea, ye show more, sorry, no be up rip Korea. Are you going to be saying, telling me, say, well, yeah, young can if fear anything? No. To me, it beyond the fear some kind. I was here, authorities, and it's in a conference, any abra or register will be a way and Kurama person who call the police report to Bano, na Bibian Cosan will be a cum be a view. It by the same token, since some be or a borrier soa. Because on said me see all my family life leaders for any other many bonny movie and I'm saying Mamma see bonny. You need professionals that will bit me a refer uncle for Nako. Now there's inquire more how or more you bay or more marriage settling issues, you know. And yeah, when I feel now, but now do an inferior abilities boy. No. One of the owner was over catch. Ne papa kura ogyina kandi opechire no na kawawe it them person chire say let's refer them to the proper you can say channel since saying be say sorry near no me koshia family life for all due respect to family life for penny for me to me church mamo onko so nyemo dwuma pa amoye ba bi o ho na hu say bro ma ho den so refer the case to professional marriage counselors. Na anyesa ye no ebetena na bi hu ama edua bu aka esim me madwene no de nti no so obi ofoforo obetimi di aka ho
me wo ho asem ka e wo de o ka ye no che say nia ye culture no a kire yen no ye nananom mu ana o mo transi di asem no na bebre o mo nye lawyers ena sabi misre me ka na bi nso bebre no o mo nko school da experience ni ansam no a abefa o nsam no a no mo gira so de e kasem enti yemu bi nso so saa na atete yen enti krom ha na e kire yen se esese yesesa kakra nya o kan yes baby me no ya adwen baby nso me no nya adwen it's answer for example say it is a rape ya okay ya na bi betima busa question bi say na waka sem bi ato se eyeda na bi e ba ni sa yesi awadu achinchin na wonya bewo ebi ana fault no kura na emfiri sabi the victim no and as a victim no na de ne ho koy na aba ni sa we don't know and afen so kura no say yesi afiafiye e dia papa ye ba wo behwe no te say dia o kan first na no ane de elder kwaku nso kan ye no si ye kasi ye hwehwemu a na akofore asofo ne church elders nyina no mu nyina no mo ye katasumo mu aso na ma ye criminals ya me anim emwa enti eduru ba bia se abrewa owo mu no ye si enkobu sa abrewa o ka kira se afiafi ye dia papa ye ba enti betumi a asem ni bi ho a moma ye ntuye na nsi so ebi nso wo ho no mo a omo se ye ne momfa nkọ moma ye ni sene a emra no etie yen no yen hyeda ni mra bi a guide yen say your constitution yen ni so enti say ebe ye church asem dia any the church would deal with it said ya okay yen sans na conference e dia abase obi a oye nkwala ho adwuma no e say criminal record checks ni na sifo nyina no eboa yen sesa enso mayen but ti said ye yesu yi ai no ebi wo ho no a aye new e wo yasum ene bi nsusu wo ho no nso a ye nim but problem na yen ye wo no ye culture no ene senia yi fa handle ni ama ni senia yetimi kasam ni atemdidie obi ho no atimi so odi fo yan so obi betimi abie na no aka se odi fo no ye obenya wo so wodom ye be ye no nti no aka na no atum na ye nyina ne ne nam ho no fo na ensam na edokro ye ye problem no
open yes me begiris wakasa ye koyed ni muno penindi edio a friend says so I dream so very penny ma obi a person there and then you are on the wrong spot if we say asɔre no mmra no ankasa no ɛkyerɛ sɛ wote bibia a border on criminality a wo no krampo nsɛ sɛ kosi ho akonya but yɛn yɛ culture no baby the free eba no sa criminal no laws no even sɛ wo ho no krampo nya adwuma ɛno nti yadwina yɛ sɛ oh we dear friend saying mpanifo mo yɛn kan na nsi so wo do two nice criminal matter so ɛwɔ asɔre mu a it never dies 20 years 30 years down the road say asebni nya ba oba kokrampa na die friends say deathbed so krampa e be sentence to jail enunti bikiri say impendifo asabre ye take up responsible positions no we should be very very mindful of those criminal activities within our midst adebia ya dia kataso ne amuamuaso no 20 years down the road it will come back and haunt us enunti the earlier we dealt with it the better imagine you know.
I agree with Brekweku and what other people said, we have to tread very carefully because I remember a case came up. The Yakase Pastor Bikaka and said, this matter has to go to the court. I saw for Nentiase, somewhere say, you can't wufino, na pastor no person mudi pastor nasa. But the conference could have shut down our church if that case wasn't reported to the police. So we have to tread very carefully. There are some cases that maybe, but when it comes to this rape and other stuff, and whether it's true or not, as a pastor, as an elder, it's our responsibility to report it to the police, because other than that, the conference can shut out the doors of the church.
Yeah, but the me no muka ni nyina yes, sanity, but baby I see a draw line on na make us yen culture no. So religious culture, for example, you have sorry I wom memene da kwan refo no. I mean, drew baby you bisa say God Jesus and as a Paul any year refer no na dia same ya saying and go back. So, and yen same ni na sabita fracture, yes, wabamuno a criminal, I say be a bebanisa, but Ubehemuno, ne a beer, your bohom pie crania castle, what your facha. Let's say be ye, sir. I mean, judgment and casane justice, no, a yanko pong channel, if free. So, a diamokani, yes, a bomb nepai. Nanso, a drew baby a young cochano, and ne sebi, a sorry I be pimeno. Nya mahu e mahu kwan se bia kukuwasam e fakoto abonti ada se eni unuane ni ne finchim e wo mra kwan so sa e sa ne yenyam so ya hwegi a ye bonus nsan ana se etosini kakra
kwa me we de me ma openia no nsi ye no yeti local church nti ya na ye ntanti nsem we possible conference no. But I will sound a serious warning to your church. If we say cases conference, pick it up, it's amazing. And a friend saying, to the beer, na one casa boy is into a crystal foam pan away to missing. Moma young gun of 1 year, who say ostrich, so be BNC into the tea up and the wind that is blowing, a year better say, criminal activities be stay out. In fact, by the laws of the land, penny being was also on issue a friend say a border on criminality. The first thing you do is report it to the friends, to the police. I certainly need jurisdiction to even think about, let alone settle down to discuss issues on criminality. And it is a bit me a culture once. Na se mrane view na do kokota untumi enyiwa emfa culture enyiwa no
yo me da ma se me hu se ni pa bi apagye omo sa me acknowledge omo iPhone what sana why enter o de can you can go ahead wow see why register as iPhone I don't know who it is.
Doctor Helene wife
hey I'm a say na say
And me not dream say Bibi say eba was sorry no to me no near me person ka yebe and say a foreign stay out from the issue no because semunya de ba a sorry ni mu dia ebia osofo o sa sorry penny no so ebia o ka say oh yenye ni say ya other family so want support say the nampanifo bi ka no a o mesu so be see to is asamo no enko abamu ano anase bibi mu enti sa issue say ne bi ba sorry ni mu a to me no nobody should report it to the any church pastor, any church elder. Omuankasa nele won ade e wo se ne omo pe ne che se omo de be ba sorry nim na bibi be kwakoba na de ebe fore asori no amen nsem bebre ida say ye be close asori na na say e di nsem bebre be ba no say bibi say ba the family the two side no because o person ni anasa asafo mpanifo no entimi nyina ba ko echi nkaka say ni asori no stay out na family no ankasa handle omo case no na nyame asafo no so enko
yo that's it me hu so bi so apagya ne sa wo de phone signal pen da wa yi so minim nipa kro me sira wo betimi akasa phone wa de wa registers phone signal no nko an. Okay, ono and respond there. We'll give chance to anyone or wants to comment and our question about the Air Kenya. I think so. We are Obi will comment be and our question.
Hello, Doc. Doc, may I contribute?
Hello.
Yes. May I say a word?
Hello. Nipakro, until Casanio.
Pastor Bonnie, Penny.
Yes.
Sorry.
I think the time is ripe for the church to invite a legal man to give us a legal education, to know the difference between the law and culture. Quite recently, the new IGP in Ghana came out to give education for the church to know its role, and then the laws of Ghana to know what it should do. Time is ripe for us at Outward to invite legal minds to educate us on what we should do, that we should stop bringing culture into the church. If somebody is wrong and he has felt or she has felt foul with the law, then the law have its course. We bring culture at times, we say that I'm not very good at pre, but we say, you deny it, yasu, you empower it, yasu. I don't know how wide the standards big enough to cover it. Somebody said something that I agreed with her, that at time, if we cover something 20 years down the line, the one will be arrayed with the court. So let us be careful. If we do not know, let's invite a legal man to come and tell us and educate us what we should do with criminality and what we should do with the moral law. One thing I will add to end my talk is that there's difference between system and principle. The church operates on principle. The law always work on system, either or. But the church has a law, which we call it policy, and its principle. Let us not get mixed up with culture. Thank you.
Doc, you are mute.
You're muted, sir.
Doctor, Mr. Okasa Yentio. Mr. You are still mute.
Sorry, Pacho Mutimikasa.
I feel dirty.
Namuhumi pictures.
I who come pa.
Oh, yo, Madam Wasi. One kafra. Naminim says, may you shut it off all of a sudden. But anyway, sorry about that. I think, a lot of important points have come up during this discussion. And, Metwama, men's ministry leaders, be a mobile as organized, be a for legal matters, and so am I, me cross the best and this ama young guys never no and young girls no mumu bi nso sua law no sua medicine here but obi so diverting obi nwene ho on fa law nka ho na enya lawyer so ye ntam na kura ye timu me kira mu nipa miensa onye omo na mfofo a beboa unya lawyer adamfo a beboa unya doctor adamfo a beboa na unya accountant so adamfo a beboa sa nipa miensa Pebiara for never bow. It's a lawyer be my boy issues. Now the American said, no question. Yeah, no, Yamie dear who fee above 4 night over time pa Ghana for. Yet the Mrane a crum hand, she shall be bred, dear grandma, a fair one de palma. She say, yet to get that to the air dreams, Jerry. But I said, come from a fufubi fire one, and even says, I'm right, you know, crumo. Until we need to balance the law with the way of worshiping. Now, before say my final, meaning obi or fufu because pennies me also up payons that now who can be biana.
There have been pajamas, you were pajamas and you read.
Okay, and you wait me a casa. Hello.
We pagani that I think it's a mistake.
A mistake, you, any mean someone up and Afi inquiry. It's in me, Damina Asibi. I think, say, Obian and the Chefao. I can't remember Pia, but Afa, a mema, how difficult and tough to be a man, from the early onset of conception, The default is Sanki never Panyamin for his strange reason why I've selected as a member. It means we have a bigger responsibility and a bigger role to play. We need to be spiritual leaders in our family. We need to plan the financial workup for the family. The health of the family is our responsibility. Now, in this area, abuses, we need to take care and cherish our families.
Amen. Amen. Ready? Ebedo nyame ase de odi abesie. Aten se adusuano nyame ada ma very 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 good. Igina ani age ho pa. Dr. Edawase bebre nyame hirawo. I know say the ntwa so ho. Enti besa tie nka bio. Na ya sama mre na wasane abihia bio. Na enimi se etu ensa besan age yenso bio. Nyame hira bebre. Enuanom a mo so munya kwan ba nyame hira mo. Momoa ene mo contributions ne mo questions ya hodo no edamase bebre nyame hira mo. Samre no ya de eruan bebe awieye. Na nyame ya adoma ye sa toa so next Sabbath. Eno nso se ne anopa no announcement ni sikoye no. Dr. Okan a owo Heritage Church Frank Okan ena ne yeka mu ne se omo yemienu Dr. for ne yemienu Frank Okan ene ono adamfo nso wo Bronx New York onso doctor onso omienu na beka abom na omo ne abehia asan ye adusua se ne Dr. Sapon ne aye ne nei tie da mu nyina se obi a shenso se nyam yaduma next Sabbath the same time you besan hia. I think your time is good. Time is starting any time you're very good. The money said, some I'm here so as a pastor and so Pastor Bacho also. Because I need to hear the best.
I me was not material, but not me drive, but now me was so down here. I feel like coffee and all.
Oh, I see. Okay, so penny for announcement to be anywhere there. So pastor bit me there nanka.
Mama ya da se pa nyamisha pa.
Oh, yeah, me there I say.
This announcement to be anywhere. What's the pastor what drive on?
Ane.
But a bit my bump and say man.
Ale bi abone.
Okay, open your to me. Any empire na she has man and 5 Christian marry.
Okay, asafo mama ya mompaye. Yɛda wase Kristo Yesu. Yɛhyia mu ɛwɔ Kristo wudin mu. Wonam wadom no mobrohu nso akyerɛkyerɛ yɛn ne yɛnim, ne yɛbu yɛn ni aguso. Ne yɛni nku hu papa ene wonam wadom nso akyerɛkyerɛ yɛn. Yɛn nyinaa yɛhu sɛ ɛyɛ the beginning of something. Yɛfa kwanyan na wakoso ahyira uboni a osiesie adesua yi de maa yɛn. Any department a enam wo so ama yɛn so yɛte saa nsɛm yi. Yɛda wo ho ase Awurade. Kɔso hyira wɔn. Na sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a w'adwuma bɛkɔ so na wasafo nso betumpon no. Kɔso ɛboa yɛn na yɛntumi nya adesua bi a ɛte sɛ yie. Na yɛn nyinaa yɛmfa nkaka ho na ne yɛnnim no yɛnsua. Na de yɛnim so a yɛbu yɛn ni agu so no nso. Yɛnyi yɛn nan firi so na yɛntumi mfa wasɛm ɛnyɛ adwuma. Ɛnokora yɛ baako pɛ. Nti Kristo yɛsrɛ wo. Obra yɛbɛdi ntitimu yi. Hu yɛn nyinaa yɛmɔbɔ ne ka yɛn ho. Kosisi yɛbɛhyia mu bio no. Yɛde Dr. Sapon ɛne n'adwuma a wɔyɛ ne nyinaa ɛdan ho. Yɛsrɛ wo sɛ hyira no. Ɔne ne fie ɛne n'abusua. Saa nso ne yɛsrɛ ma yɛwɔ asafo sɛ hyira yɛn nyinaa ne boa yɛn. Na yɛnsua ne yɛnyɛ asɛm ne yɛfo. Ɛnyɛ asɛm ne tefo. Nti yɛyɛ asɛm ne yɛfo a yɛbɛtumi de wasɛm no akɔkyiri. Na ɔma yɛ to so mmienu no nso bɛba ntɛm. Yɛsrɛ wo sɛ yɛmu bi wɔ ha or suffer in the form of any abuse a Awurade yɛsrɛ wo kasaafo no nyinaa ho. Na sɛ ɛyɛ mmerepam sɛ wɔ kasa a wɔnkasa na mmoa biara a wasafo nso a wɔde bɛboa no ɔmfa mmoa no. Anwummere yi yɛdi ntitimu yi Awurade yɛsrɛ wo sɛ hyira yɛn ntam. Kosisi yɛbɛhyia mu bio no fa wadom pɔn yɛn. Wɔ Nyame Agya, Nyame Ɔba, Nyame Ɔkronkron din mu. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen. And then Mispa.